Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Infamous Idiots podcast. My name is Marco.
I'm Richard. Subscribe if you guys are new.
Yeah, man. So apparently, Homeboy almost got his leg amputated.
Oh, we're
Which
starting
is
off with
crazy.
That. So
Yeah,
basically,
man.
what had happened?
Because
Let
hold
me
on, we
explain.
also have to explain why we didn't have an episode out.
Okay,
we
so
were supposed
basically,
to.
I was like, I started working out again, and I was like, okay, I've been pinning the bag like for a week straight. I was like, I need to take the next step. I was like, logically, I should take the next step. I was like, oh, I should just start doing some cardio. So I start going on runs. I run every day for 7 days. On the 7th day, my left foot just starts. I don't even know how to describe it. It's more like it felt like a pinch, kind of. And I was like, oh, whatever. I'm just gonna keep running. But then it didn't really hurt that much for the whole run. And then later that day, as I went to work and like each break that I had, because I work 10 hours, so I have like 4 breaks essentially, or no, 3 breaks including lunch. And after each one, I was like, oh fuck, my fucking foot is so. It just felt like sore. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go on. And then I came here to watch the fight, the Alex Pereira fight, which was a great fight. And then I was like, oh, it feels good. I was like, I just needed to rest for a little bit.
Yeah.
I go to bed that night. I wake up, my foot's just swollen, and it's like, I'm like, what the fuck happened? I was like, what the fuck? So then I'm like, thankfully I didn't work that day, and I was like, okay, let me just see. I was like, I can't put any pressure on. I was like, what?
And you went to the doctor that day?
I went to the doctor that day because my girlfriend was like, no, I was like, I'm fine. I'm just gonna, elevate, I'll ice it, and I'm like, it's fine, I go to work in 2 days. That should be enough time to repair.
Oh my
They're
god,
like,
that's such a dude thing.
It
Babe, I'll be
is.
fine. I'm in
It-
excruciating pain every time I walk, but like
Yeah, I was like limping. I was like,
my
I need
foot's
some
swollen
credit.
and it's 3 times the normal size, but I could fucking go to work.
So I go to the hospital or urgent care, and they do an X-ray, and they're like, it doesn't look like it's broken, but you could have a hairline fracture, or like it's just inflammation, like swelled up, and it's just really bad. And she's like, you can't do anything for a week. Essentially, I was like,
Yeah, and
Bro,
we had plans that day.
had the plan
We were
that
gonna
day,
have
and not just-
content
and
out
not
for you
just
guys.
that, but
yeah.
like that's like the type of I'm like over here like I want to work out, I want to better myself, and what do I get in return? I get a fucking hairline microfracture. I'm like, what the
Do you want to know why
what
I
the
think you
fuck?
hurt yourself and you got the hairline fracture? Because you didn't hit me to work out with you.
I mean,
She's like, hey, bro, let's hit some fucking pads. And look at what happened. That's what you get.
no, it's just I don't know, dude. It's just bullshit, honestly.
It sucks when you're starting to get on a
Hey, dude, that
healthy
happened to
kick.
you. That happened to you too.
Yeah,
When he was like getting on a healthy kick, and then something happened with his back. I thought he got
Yeah.
pneumonia.
Then I got pneumonia, and that entire month was just fucking awful.
Yeah,
And
it's
now
just like,
I'm just being a lazy piece of shit.
I mean, I feel it, but I can't do anything. I'm still supposed to take like today was like probably the best day, and even then I've been like really.
He was
Like, limp.
limping. He's been old
Well,
man it today.
right now. I'm limp. I'm like not playing. I don't want to say played off, but I'm really trying not to put a lot of pressure on it because I'm like I don't want to fucking retweak it. Then I'm out for a week, and then it's just like
Another thing, and
yeah.
you're back to
I'm
just
like no, I'm just gonna baby it. I'm gonna fucking elevate it. It's just one of those things. I'm like, dude.
It's so funny how when you get older, shit like that, you really start to be more careful with it. When you were younger, you're like, I'm not a bitch,
Well, I mean, that's
And
the
now you're
mentality.
just like-
I
now
did
you're
have
just
that
like-
mentality though. I was like, I'm not gonna be a bitch. I'm gonna go to work because like.
But that was
especially
until you
back-
knew the severity
Yeah,
of what
true.
you had. And if all you genuinely had was like, what, a sore foot, let's say, for
Yeah.
example, right? You'd have been fine.
Yeah.
But you're like, you had a genuine problem, and the doctor's like, bro. you
And I
need
had to
chill.
wear. It's called like a flat foot or something. Like it just like.
I
Kind
know
of
what you're talking about.
Yeah, I went up my whole leg, and I was just like, God damn! I was just like, God fucking damn it! Like,
Did
this is what I get for trying to better myself. I get injured. I was like, of course.
Yeah, dude.
It's like, dude, fuck off.
Whatever omnipotent being out there is like, this motherfucker's trying to run.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, because I was like, okay, right. I had done track in high school, and like, dude, we used to run like minimum start off. You'd run like 3 miles. I was like, I can do it a mile a day. I was like, I can do that. I should be able to do that.
Because you want to start off realistic.
Well, yeah, I was doing
you're
a
like,
realistic.
I'll do a mile.
Yeah.
That's like pushing it for where I am now. But yeah, I get where you're coming from because I've definitely done.
I mean,
that too.
the mile was like I said, I had gone 7 days. So like just in that 7 days, dude, I felt noticeably like my progression felt better. I was like, I could do this. And then I just fucking tweaked my fucking foot. It's like, of course, bro. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to fucking get my feet sized, I guess. That's what the doctor recommended. She's like, if this happened with that, she's like, I'm surprised it has happened in the past. I was like, Tapped out in the past. I was like, goddamn.
God damn. Maybe and you didn't even know.
Yeah, and she said it also could have been a prior injury that just like flared up. Like it might have been so minuscule before. Because there is one when she said that there was one time when we used to go to the gym, be fit. I remember I was hitting the bag and I like pivoted one time and like I had twisted my ankle. I didn't like, you know, like I twisted my ankle and I was like, oh fuck. I was like, oh fuck, I gotta leave right now.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck. But like that's the only time in like my past that I can remember where I was like, yeah, I hurt myself really bad.
Yeah, injuries fucking suck, especially when they like you're basically told to just chill, relax.
Yeah, like your medicine is
And
to
you're
just
like,
relax.
Ugh.
You're like, that's exactly what I didn't want to do right now.
Yeah.
But I'll embrace it.
Yeah. Oh, dude, you have no other option than to embrace it.
Yeah.
Like when I was bedridden in pneumonia, I was like, I feel like shit, but watching a movie makes me forget. So I just binged a bunch of movies.
Yeah, I mean, I binged a bunch of movies. I've been playing the hell out of Dark Souls. Like I'm like I said, I just embraced it. I was like, I'm bedridden. There's nothing I could fucking do. Fuck it, bro.
Yeah, cause when I got pneumonia too, I watched Terrifier 2 to get prepared for the upcoming release, which we're gonna talk about. Exactly. We got the cups and everything. We didn't get the popcorn
You
bucket,
have to pre-order it.
which is weird.
You would
If
think
it
they
was
would have
there,
it.
I probably
You would
would
think
have got it.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
would think that like on a movie like this, they would want to be prepared.
Yeah. Watch Terrifier 2 just to get ready for Terrifier 3 and that's where we just came back from.
Yeah.
So let's just get right into it. I first things first, I love the look of these movies. The grainy feel, the aesthetic. As soon as you saw a house like the way it started, you remember I just turned to you, I was like, I fucking love the way this looks. Like
as like that Planet Terror type.
yes, that grindhouse feel and look to it, especially the beginning. And it's such a throwback slasher movie that I really enjoyed my experience with it. These movies aren't for everyone. I think if you're a diehard horror fan and you can appreciate prosthetic effects and just or at least kills,
Yeah.
I think you'd really enjoy this movie. I think that the lore can make or break people's experience with it. You know, like some of the lore with like Art the Clown or the main character. But I really enjoyed it. I liked it. I just, I have my gripes about the movie. I don't think it's a perfect movie. But I enjoyed my experience overall. It was a really good, spooky movie. I think I rated it a solid, 7 out of 10. That's pretty good.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's pretty good. Yeah. I enjoyed myself. I laughed a lot. I
feel like surprisingly kind of funny.
Yeah. Art the Clown is, weirdly funny in the most awkward and most gruesome ways. I mean, it was kind of funny that our audience too kind of had the same reactions we did too. It was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Watching that type of reaction, because with like comedies or like Marvel movies, you feel the audience, right? They'll laugh or they'll be like, oh, they'll clap.
Yeah.
But hearing people groan is a different type of funny.
Yeah.
It
really is like that though.
Yeah, it is, right? What'd you think of it?
I mean, I thought I would rate it a 7.5. I thought he was gonna rate it higher than me personally. I guess I rated it higher.
I feel like 7's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I think that
7.
I think that's a solid move for what this type of movie is. I think it's very solid. Like I said, 7.5. I think the aesthetic, or like you said, the aesthetic, like the grainy, love that. I also think the prosthetics are like really
top notch.
Like top notch, like. Some of the kills, especially with like the face and stuff like that, where like you're taking chunks out of people.
Oh, so
it's
cool.
Like you see like the bone, and also there's like a part where she's like at a dinner table, and there's like, I don't want to spoil. I mean, I guess is that really spoiling?
Let's just get into spoilers, because I mean, I'd rather just it's gonna be out.
So like in the beginning, she's like basically the girl from the previous one. She's having PTSD, and she sees like one of her friends that had Art Klein had obviously butchered. But she's like talking to her like, you did this to me and everything. But like she saw us all the same brutal, disfigurement. But like there's like slight bubbles coming out of her forehead from just like, moving around. And it's like, I don't know. That's a really cool touch.
Yeah.
Really cool touch. And like, I don't know. It adds to like the creepiness, especially if she's like in the next to other people that are like, plain or not like, as normal as can be.
Yeah.
And she's going through her own fucking.
I really liked that bit
Yeah.
I think
Well, I think the
the
beginning.
psychological horror bits of Terrifier 3 really surprised me because I feel like in some weird way they were kind of my favorite part of the
Yeah, I
movie.
agree. I was just
It
gonna say
was
that.
really intense and also like the main character,
Mm-hmm.
she's such a badass.
Yeah, really badass.
She
That's how
she
you do
acts
a
it,
female main character.
dude, and she's like a really good act. Like she acts her fucking ass off.
Mm-hmm.
I feel every emotion that she does. And I mean, dude, if they continue the way they continue, she could definitely be up there in like top 10 or top 5 scream queens for
Mm-hmm.
sure. I really dug her character and her arc. The
Yeah.
little, the little tidbits of her past with her father who's a comic
Mhm.
book artist, which I look at like comic book artist and horror and like I first it fits so fucking well. I just really liked the way it looked too.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah.
had such a classic movie feel, and shit, dude, I feel like the more I talk about it, the more I'm like, I really like this movie.
Yeah.
You know?
I think, like what we were saying with the psychological thing, I think that going to like a midway part of the movie, I think that from the beginning to the midpoint of the movie, I think is excellent.
Yeah.
You know, I guess I'll go into my gripes. I feel like it overstays its welcome just a little bit, but I also felt like that with the second Terrifier. You know, like it's just there's only so many scalpings you can see before you stop.
There's only so many brutal kills you could get without just being
All right, this is what's happening.
desensitized
Yeah,
to
this
it.
is what's happening now.
You're
I
like,
feel
okay.
like I know a lot of people like, oh, you know, the kill count and stuff like that, but like I think like less is more in that aspect, especially with the way that you're doing it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you're really stretching it out. I think if you shave the movie down by like 15 minutes, I think it's works out a lot more personally.
Yeah. I can agree with that. I like it's funny because I feel like they do the bits of like this taking certain things serious and they do it really well.
Yeah.
Where you're like, oh, this is really good. Like how you said, like the psychological horror aspect to it when she
Mhm.
sees her dead friend and yeah, dude. I wish those bits were expanded on a bit more.
Yeah.
I wish we got a little more of like Art's origin.
Mm.
You know, like you get slight hints. Like you think I'm pretty sure he might be the serial killer that was mentioned
Mhm.
in that bit of the movie, the one that would
In
kidnap
like the
kids
90s,
and kill.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm not entirely sure. I was kind of hoping we would see how Art got this deal with this demon,
Mhm.
right? Um, maybe in the fourth one, because I'm pretty sure they're going to hell in the fourth one.
Yeah.
I'm really curious.
It
How
seems
they're
like
gonna
that
do
would be
with
the
budget.
next logical kind of like. I feel like they've really, you know, how do you say, like they just done everything. I feel like now in this world essentially.
Well, yeah,
Especially if you've been, especially from this. I would really, if you're really looking at, I know that this is the third one, but if you're really looking at, this is really the second one because the
Yeah.
first one is just
the only
kick the clown running around.
the
just
only
doing his
thing
deed.
that sticks with the first one is one of the I guess the main character of the first one is like the host of the demon in this third one.
Mhm. Yeah,
You know, that's about the only thing, I guess.
yeah, that carries over.
Yeah,
But like, I think, like I said, I think if you're looking at it like from Terrify, when they do a Terrify, I'd be surprised if they didn't. But if you from Terrify 4, you would really look at it as 2, 3, and 4, that being the main trilogy.
Yeah.
And the first one's just like, all right, we're putting this out here, and we didn't
Yeah.
expect it to do as well. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? That's what I think, and I think with the fourth one, logically it makes sense, especially with the way the movie ended.
Yeah. I feel like they should definitely build up the characters more.
Mhm.
Make not just Art a household name, but like make I feel bad for forgetting the main character's name.
I don't know it either, but I feel like
Sienna.
Is it?
There we go. Yeah, it's Sienna. I would really love to see her shine a lot more. I think she does really good in it. She was definitely my favorite part of the movie.
Oh yeah.
She
And then
just
the clown,
acted her
obviously.
ass off when it gets physical and she's yelling and she's screaming. You fucking feel it. Like
Yeah.
I was I'm not in awe a little bit. I'm like, holy shit, like dude, she's so good in this movie. And such a badass character too.
Oh,
I just
yeah.
love how she just any moment she can, she fights back in like a really cool way. I really like her little fight scene with Art, a chainsaw and a sword.
Yeah.
It's really badass actually.
Mhm. There was.
Yeah, man. I just I guess I really enjoyed this movie. It was perfect for this spooky time.
Oh yeah,
And
fits the tone.
yeah, exactly. And like I said, I kind of want to go see more horror movies in theaters. I don't like I love horror, but I don't
Go
go
see
to the
it.
movie theater that often.
I mean, we've seen kind of a lot. Well, actually, was Talk to Me this year, or was that last year?
That was last year.
Okay. Well, we saw Talk to Me, we saw Long Legs, and now we seen Terrifier.
Yeah. Well, those other horror movies are very different as opposed to Terrifier.
Oh yeah, I mean, this is
The-
way more slasher. Like
yeah, like seeing the kills and stuff with the like Talk to Me, it's really deep emotional horror film.
yeah,
Which is fucking great, by the way. But that
amazing fucking movie.
yeah, I don't have that on Blu-ray for some odd reason.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's worth adding to the Blu-ray collection
Oh,
because
absolutely.
that
dude.
movie. I really that to me that's more of like
The horror
the-
you like.
I like the psychological, creepy, like
The elevated
suspense
horror.
and suspense and building it up and everything. That's what I was like. I really liked the opening because it was suspenseful for
Yeah.
fucking Terrifier. Like you're building up the suspense, you know, kind of
Yeah.
what's gonna happen, but. And then when it does happen, you're like, "Oh shit!" And then again, like I said, there's only so many scalpings you can see before you're like, "Oh, this is what we're doing now."
Yeah, after like honestly after that first brutal murder, I was like, okay, this is what
It
we're
wasn't
doing.
until the next kill that was like maybe like, "Oh, that's what
What
we're
was
doing?"
your favorite kill?
Honestly, I was just gonna say, I think it's the shower, like
The chainsaw?
yeah,
scene?
the chainsaw, and also it's a It's like, thank God I hated that character.
There's a character he hated in this movie.
I was like, bro, come on.
He literally before it's so funny because before the scene where she dies, he was like, "I hope she dies brutally."
Yeah,
And, like, it's
make it
so
the most brutal
funny.
way possible.
Yeah, and
And
like
I like how art plays into it because there's a part earlier where he's like overhearing and see it goes back to like his comic effect kind of where
his
he's
comic
like, he's like,
relief in a weird way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he's like listening and I don't know, it's funny.
The way he just mimes everything in like
Mhm.
certain scenes, he does such a good job. And I think it's really cool that we're seeing another horror icon. That's kind of what I have been missing in horror because like I love all these quote unquote elevated horror movies. Talk to Me is amazing.
Mhm.
I haven't seen Hereditary. I heard it's good.
I want this.
I want
That's
to
actually
see
one
it.
of the few movies where I'm like really, other than The Exorcist, it's like
Yeah.
this is like one of those movies where I'm super scared to watch it, but I'm willing to watch it.
Yeah, and like I like having a antagonist that we all kind of love in a way,
Mhm.
like the Freddys and the Chuckies and the the Jason Voorhees, the Michael Myers. I've been missing that, and I'm glad we have some semblance of that, especially in our generation, because every single character I just listed is
all
previous. I mean, we've watched the movies, but we've never
we
really
weren't there
able.
for the come up.
Yeah, we weren't there to see them in theaters.
Mhm.
So it's kind of cool that we have our own horror icon
Yeah,
that
it
we
is
can
really
kind of
cool,
take a look
honestly.
at and just put a fresh perspective. I really like how mimey he is. He's kind of like a little sarcastic fuck sometimes, you know?
Yeah, he
And
really is.
he's so funny, and it, I like that because it's different than any of the other horror
Yeah, because all the other ones are like super
like
stiff, and it's
well, like Michael and
Mhm.
Jason, they're really just quiet, don't say anything, and just kind of like
and they're just a
tense.
tank. Yeah, they
And
just
then you
take
have
everything.
your fucking sassy fuckers like Freddy,
yeah.
right? And then you have Chucky, who's another sassy fucker. And then it's. I was thinking about this the other day. Black Noir in The Boys.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I love him from season like 1, 2, and 3, before he gets replaced, is his funny horror like not horror, silent moments
Yeah,
where he's just like doesn't even react, and that's just sometimes comedically funny.
yeah, yeah.
Or he'll just like mime
Yeah.
something. I love that they do that with Art the Clown
Mm-hmm.
because it's just another way to be sassy, but just no.
Well, like,
you
I
don't
feel
have
like
any
it's also them
dialogue.
like realizing it and like playing into it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're like, we kind of gotta do this because otherwise, there's only so much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you kind of need that, and it is kind of funny that he is the comic relief. There's really no one else that's any comic relief.
No.
Yeah.
Actually, that's such a good point.
Yeah, no
He
one
really
else
is.
is just him.
It's a brutal murder. He'll do something and you'll chuckle.
Yeah,
And then
he's
you'll
like-
kind of be like, "Am I weird for laughing?"
Yeah.
You
Especially
know?
when you're like in the beginning when we're like the only two laughing and everyone was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
When you're the only ones laughing at a scene and everyone else is quiet, you're kind of just like,
But no, there's actually I remember seeing something. There is a reason to that. I forget. I don't want to Google it right now, but there is a reason to that. Maybe we'll throw
For
it up on
art,
the screen.
for art.
No, I'm saying for like reasons why, like so when you see something scary, there's a reason why some people will be like, and someone will laugh. There's like there's like a psychological thing. I don't know. I remember seeing about it.
I think I know. I think I might know what you're talking about, but I'm not smart enough right now to even look it up or even make some sort of a comprehension about that. But I feel like there's maybe it's like us being that's how we kind of deal with those.
Yeah, it has to do with it's like
situations.
coping and shit. It has something to do with that.
Although
Because I remember there were, even in Long Legs, like there was a part where I was like, "Oh my god, this is serious," and he's laughing. I was like, "What the fuck?"
You're like, bro.
He's like slamming his head on the fucking table. I'm like,
oh,
this is kind of brutal.
When I was like, oh,
you're like laughing, like I was like, Jesus Christ, his nose is gone, brother.
Yeah, this is a good part. This is a good scene. I get what you're saying though. That's really funny. Man. We should really introduce people to the Terrifier. I kind of want to see people's reactions to the kills.
You talking about like, what are you talking about?
Well, just kind of like, you know, if a friend is like, "Hey, should I watch this?"
Okay,
I would absolutely
like recommend it to people.
Yeah, I'd be
like, bro, you should watch
it.
Like, really?
And like, it's the perfect film to like eat while you watch it. You know, like
watch it during Christmas. It's the
perfect family movie.
Yeah,
that beginning is just so family friendly. I love it.
I would love to see my parents' reactions to that movie. They'd be like, "Why the fuck are you watching this?"
Yeah, my mom would be like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
Yeah,
hardcore Catholic Hispanic woman. It's just like, okay,
blessing herself.
Yeah, most likely she should just be like, "See, this is the reason why people are crazy these days because of movies like this." And you're like, "Okay, cool."
Yeah.
Not like religion has never done that too, but okay.
All right. All right.
You're like, we're getting off topic
here. Holy shit. Taking shots randomly.
Yeah. Anyways,
I recently rewatched Halloween 2018. Dude, that movie is so fucking good. And that really should have been the last one. It is so good.
But you know Hollywood, they're like, "Oh, dude, more of that."
Yeah. I mean, I did watch which one was the second one?
Kills?
Was that Kills?
You watched Kills?
I did watch the second one, yeah.
Halloween Kills?
Yeah.
Well, the one where he kills where he gets out of the house that's on fire.
And he's walking out.
Oh, what'd you think of it?
I mean, I was like, I don't know. To me, I saw the same sentiment. They should have just ended with that last. Having it be, because if I'm not mistaken, right, it was just a direct sequel to the first one.
Yeah.
And they gated the second one, and they're like, all right, this is just a time jump of like everything that's happened. I love that. It was awesome. Like the world building and everything, and having her prepare for this moment and having it be satisfying as well. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
She my business. Like this isn't a fucking a tomb. This is his grave. You're like, that's a bar. Holy shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's just like a bow on it. And then they have to rip the bow off and then fucking throw other shit in there. But like, I kind of do want to watch I never watch Halloween Ends personally.
But you watched Kills.
I did watch Kills, and I did feel like there was parts that I liked, but I also felt like it was just more forgettable. And again, it just goes back to, I think 2018 should have just been the one.
Mm-hmm.
You just go there and you're just like, that's it. I'm not touching it no more.
Halloween Ends was just not a satisfying conclusion to what was definitely not a planned trilogy.
Yeah.
And the thing is like Halloween Ends is, I think as time passes, it's going to be like Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. You know how as people pass, people are like, look, it's not Michael Myers, but as like a horror movie, it's pretty fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
Like the concept in Halloween Ends are really cool and interesting. There's a lot of really cool bits, and this could have been a satisfying conclusion had there been tidbits in the prior ones to kind of make it go full circle and feel coherent. And not just out of fucking nowhere be like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
Like, what's infuriating about, there are bad movies, but then there are movies that like have bits where you're like, bro, I see little bits that could have been a great movie.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, they just don't stick the landing, or like they don't just
fall on their face.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, it sucks because I think, like I said, somewhere in a different universe, there is a perfect Michael Myers trilogy, and Halloween Ends is probably like a perfect end to that trilogy. It's just not this one.
Yeah.
That's just the best way to say it, dude. Especially since like Michael's not even in it for like long. He's in it, I want to say 15 minutes total of that entire movie,
Yeah,
which is fucking insane.
insane.
And and you're hyping up
I
the
mean, that's the
last
reason. I
battle.
remember
Like,
when that movie came out and I heard that, I was like, I don't want to watch. Like, I literally was
Yeah.
like, you see, I have a fucking. I love the original Halloweens. Like, I have them on Razordisc. Like, they're awesome. It's my first ever slasher movie I ever saw. So, and
the original Halloween, right?
Yeah, the original Halloween.
Do you like the Rob Zombie Halloween movies?
I mean, there's like some parts where I'm like, that's cool, but like, I never saw the second one. First of all, I only saw the first.
That second one is trippy.
I only saw the first one, and I just remember being like, okay, like I don't know, like there were some cool kills, but overall, it's a little forgettable to me, personally. So
Yeah.
that's
I'm not a fan of like Rob Zombie dialogue
Mhm.
a lot of the times.
And I think that is another part of it. It's like the characters are forgettable. It's just like
The characters are pieces of shit in the movie.
Yeah.
I just remember just being like, can you all fucking die?
yeah, it's yeah.
I like the idea of kind of trying to give Michael an origin. You know, him killing animals as a kid and just having those little bits turn into him. Like, oh, that makes sense. He killed animals.
Mhm.
You know, he was a bully. He was bullied, you know. But it does take a lot of the mystery out of the shape, right?
Mhm.
Of like, for some odd reason, this random kid just fucking snapped.
Well, it's
And
just
that-
like
and
if
that-
you go
and
back to the
that's
original, he's like
infinitely-
he's pure evil. Like, There's
Exactly.
no explanation.
There's no explanation,
and that's part of what makes him scary.
Exactly, and that's why I'm like, I with the Rob Zombie movies, I can kind of get on board, but kind of not at the same time
Mhm.
because it takes the mystery out of Michael.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Joker. The reason I love the Joker so much as a villain is because he's another character that's evil for the sake of being evil. He has
Mhm.
no fucking motive. It
Yep.
could be he's bored. It just doesn't matter. He would just
He
do the
enjoys
most
it, like,
horrendous
it's just-
shit.
yeah.
Yeah, it's so. Yeah, man, that's probably my biggest gripe with the Rob Zombie movies, and probably why I couldn't really get into them.
agree.
Although I will say that Michael is fucking terrifying.
Oh yeah, he's like beyond
Fucking
superhuman, isn't he?
giant,
Yeah.
and just like fucking a dude. Him and fucking Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th, the 2009 remake.
Yeah. Dude, that Jason Voorhees will always terrify me because it's just like
Bro.
motherfucker running, bro. I was like, dude, just relax.
And just like tidbits of like the way he would like try and trap you, like when he threw that
Yeah.
axe in that dude's back and
Mhm.
tried to get his friends to like get
Go
lured
help
by him.
yeah.
Bro, that motherfucker's terrifying.
Mhm. I wish we
wouldn't
would have gotten
survive
a
that.
sequel to that Jason. I really wish.
Yeah, I want that, but I just want like better characters and a better fucking story.
To me, I think
you
like
know?
if you with someone like Jason in particular, I feel like an anthology would be better. Like it's just like a whole new everything again. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know because you haven't seen any of the originals, right?
so I've seen part 1, part 2, and part 3. Those are the only ones.
So like
I've seen them all once. Besides the third one, I've seen that one.
I want to say his name is Tommy Jarvis.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of becomes like Jason's foe later in the series, and I really like his character. It starts off as a kid, so he's like a kid, and his family, like he makes it at the end of the movie, but Jason's literally killed his entire family, and him and his sister are like the last ones. So he kind of grows up traumatized from that, comes back, and he's just like new person. You know what I'm saying? And he's a person that keeps coming back to the series, and I'm like, fuck yeah, dude, let's do that, because he's kind of like, again, his arch nemesis in a way. No one believes him, and I think it'd be kind of refreshing, you know.
Okay.
So, I actually want to rewatch the Friday series, the Friday the 13th series again. They can be too much. I won't lie, but I just have a soft spot for them.
The
Jason X.
That's the future one, right?
Yeah, the one in space.
Yeah, I actually always liked that one as a kid.
That's a
I was
guilty
like,
pleasure.
That is
dude.
so cool.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
When he comes out with like the metal mask, and
Yeah,
that was actually.
I always thought
sick.
that one was cool, and then obviously I've seen Freddy versus Jason.
Have you seen it recently?
Not recently, but I know he's told me it's like, bro, it did not age well, and I'm like, let me just live in my land of being
Dude,
like, yeah, it's
okay.
a great movie.
But every bit that you remember that involved Jason and Freddy is still as good.
Okay.
Like the storyline isn't bad.
Also, one thing that always I remember being like, why didn't that happen? Isn't there if I remember correctly, there's like a part where he swings his machete at somebody, hits them in the stomach, and they just go flying. Isn't that a part that? And I was like, why didn't she get split in half? I feel like I remember that and being like, what the fuck?
No, he hits someone with like the butt of it, and they go flying back.
Oh, maybe it was the butt.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I remember because I loved that. That was like one of I think the only horror movie I would rewatch as a kid that didn't.
Oh yeah, I
freak me out.
rewatched it a lot as a
Because
kid.
also like there was a lot of action in it.
Yeah,
So
it was just a fun movie.
yeah, so you know, yeah, dude.
Really cool, and like you see the fight scene, and like yeah, it was. I don't know, I always really liked it. I would always recommend it. That's all I'm saying.
Maybe just the fight scenes.
Yeah.
That's all I would recommend.
Just watch the fight scenes.
Yeah,
Don't watch
just,
the actual
just
movie.
do that because it's okay. Definitely, it is perfect for spooky season. But like there are other movies I feel like you can watch. You know.
Oh yeah. I mean, my go-to is it's literally Halloween and Scream. Those are my go-to. Whenever this time comes around, I'm like, I want to watch these.
I feel like I would survive Scream. I feel like I wouldn't survive Halloween. I don't think I'd survive Friday the 13th. I feel like I'd survive Nightmare on Elm Street and Child's Play.
I agree with all of that. Actually, I totally agree.
Jeepers Creepers, I think I could survive.
I think how many is of there?
There's 4.
I've only seen the first one then.
No, you've probably only seen the first 2. Because the second one's set on the bus.
Oh,
So that's probably the one you're thinking
cornfield,
of,
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the first one is
The first one has that guy what's his? I forget his name. He was
Justin
on.
Long.
Yeah, he was on New Girl.
Yeah.
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 I remember because
he had his eyes cut
Yeah, and
out
I
at the
remember
end.
as a kid, I was like, no,
They killed him!
I was like, no.
Yeah, it was pretty. Actually, I remember that ending being fucking heart wrenching as a
Yeah,
kid.
it
I was like,
was.
they took him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was like,
dude.
no way, he's the main character. He can't die.
Yeah,
I remember being like that as a kid.
yeah.
And I feel like I remember this. Like I said, I don't barely remember the second one, but I feel like I remember being more action oriented.
The second one, yeah, because they're kind of like fighting back.
And like,
Because
didn't one have like a flamethrower at one point
yeah,
or something?
I don't want to say flamethrower, but like, because I know in the second one, the second one takes place within like the cycles of the first one, so technically it's still taking place during like the first movie. Because you know he comes up every like 28 years to feast for 28 days, so it's within those 28 days that second one takes place too. So that's after he kills Justin Long's character in the first one.
Okay.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
and apparently, like they had years ago, they had like this family had an encounter because remember that he's being hunted by like this family because he
True.
took one of their kids.
That is true.
So I liked
You
that.
reminded me of that.
I don't like the director though. The director's a fucking horrendous piece of shit.
Oh, I have no idea.
He's a convicted pedophile. That's actually crazy story.
What the fuck?
Like Dead Meat, the kill count YouTube. He specifically said is like I'll never cover those movies because I don't agree with like.
Wow, I had no
and
idea.
I respect that, bro, because honestly, like even though those first 2 horror movies, when you watch it back, it gives you the ick, bro, because the way he focuses on like the male prepubescent body and finding out like all of these alleged. That's spooky, if you ask me. Because like
really creepy,
you
rewatch
rewatch Jeepers Creepers 2 and tell me that you won't see shots that linger a little too much on like the male physique, the male teenage physique. You're gonna be like, oh fuck.
That's gross.
Yeah, dude, super fucking gross. There are monsters out there in this world. Be careful.
Wow.
But yeah, dude.
That is actually I did not even know about it. That is so crazy.
I won't lie. That's probably why I haven't seen them in years. Because ever since I found out. And I rewatched it after finding out. I just can't really look at those movies the same.
Wow.
Yeah, because like I haven't seen Jeepers Creepers, the series in like years. I would catch up on like weird lore videos on YouTube that have popped up, right?
Okay, yeah.
But other than that, like, man,
that is crazy.
Yeah.
Kind of blew my mind. Wow.
Well, the thing is like he was convicted and sentenced and then got out for abusing a kid on his first movie in the 80s.
Jesus.
That was an actor in the movie.
Jesus.
And then you have someone that actually went to jail for this come back into Hollywood and then make more horror movies.
Wow.
Make more movies, which is
that is
insane.
absurd. That is actually absurd. What the fuck?
And keep in mind the first movie that those Jeepers Creepers 1 and 2, they involve teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just when you go back and you see that and finding that out, you're just like, did this man really just not parade, but just bring kids around him just because he was able to as a director. So yeah, the more you know, man. Hollywood, pieces of shit in there, man.
Jesus.
Yeah. Let's not end on a
I
downer.
I don't know where to go now.
Let's not end on a downer
Jesus.
though, okay? Because other than real life shit being spooky, there are other things to get you ready for the spooky season.
Okay.
Oh god.
Yeah, how are you gonna save this, Marco? Let me know.
I don't know, honestly.
I was like,
I was just because every time I bring up that series, I cannot not think about.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, I'll,
it,
I mean, good thing you told me because now I'll never buy those Blu-rays or anything like that.
Mm-mm.
So, I mean, good thing you told me. But
well, also a part of me wants to tell people too because I want them to rewatch it and wonder if like they would feel the same things I feel, where you're like, oh shit, this really does feel like certain shots, certain things where you're like, that wasn't really necessary.
Yeah.
So that's why that's the only reason that, like I said, anytime anyone talks about that series, that's just immediately what my mind comes to. It's like the creator's a piece of shit. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. The monsters are among us, bro.
Seriously.
Yeah, at least it's not art though, because what horror movie would you rather be stuck in? I'm gonna give you options.
Okay.
Okay. It's really only gonna be 3. Terrifier, Friday the 13th, or Halloween. And do you think you could survive?
No, maybe.
Which one's the maybe?
I think the one I have the best chance, surprisingly, would be Halloween. I think just because the only reason is because we've never actually seen them run or do anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, okay, if I keep you in like a field, and like I just kind of run around, then
the Rob Zombie Michael Myers ran. He sprinted.
Okay, but I don't really consider that.
You're like, I'm not counting him.
I'm counting like the
John Carpenter's.
John Carpenter's. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, let's keep you in a field and like juke you out a little bit, and like then maybe I have a chance. But other than that, I feel like this one, if you're going against the clown, you're getting fucking just the worst death possible if he catches you. And then if you're going against Jason Voorhees, you're literally gonna get like your bones are like if you ever played if you guys have ever played Mortal Kombat 10 where he's in there, he's literally gonna break all of your bones and just like a fucking suplex or something.
It's
and
my favorite character to play.
And then he's just gonna like spin your head around. He's gonna do something absurd. You're like, why'd you choose that kill for me, bro? Like, what the fuck? How come I couldn't get a machete in the head? How come I get killed the most brutal way possible?
Yeah.
Like he's just gonna be like a little extra for you for no reason.
Can we agree the easiest ones to survive? Scream.
I mean, to me,
he's just a dude who can't fight.
I was like, bro, you instantly what you have to do is instantly throw hands.
Yeah,
it's like your best option. I mean, he might get lucky and get you, but you instantly need
adrenaline hits if you get stabbed.
Yeah.
Except if it's the Scream from Scream 6, because one of them was a cop. That one might give you a little trouble. The other two fucking dweebs.
But see, the only thing with Scream is that
there might be more than one.
I was gonna say if they're both there at the same time, then you're just like, all right, I gotta dip. Yeah. But if you're like, if you start catching one, you're just like, oh. Then if it's a Marco, all of a sudden he starts hitting, you're like, you motherfucker, it's you, and you're like,
that probably would be me. It probably would be.
You're like, now I had to jump in. I'm sorry.
Yeah, dude, like that. There's literally that scene in Scream 6.
Yeah.
When that dude was just beating the shit out of one of them.
That shit. I was like, finally! And then some dude just comes out of nowhere, like, oh shit.
You're like,
who?
Fuck.
Yeah.
That's exactly, yeah.
And so Scream 6 was actually surprisingly really good.
Child's Play.
Yeah, I feel like you just gotta punt it. I mean, it's really what you gotta do. You just gotta punt it.
Yeah.
Bah! And he gets up, he's bah! Bah! He's like, I took more time, bro.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
Just throw that motherfucker around.
Just throw him around.
Although, unless it's like the more than one Chucky.
Okay, if it's more than one, then it's like they're actually kind of terrifying. Like,
yeah, you're like,
especially if they're like a little mob and they're like crawling over each other, and it's like imagine like a puddle moving and it's just like rotating on top of each other. You're like, okay, that's kind of cool.
It's also like Chucky's so small he could like slice some I remember in one of the movies like he's literally slices someone's Achilles tendon.
Yeah, see that type of shit would suck, but I feel like you gotta it's probably because I've been playing like a lot of Dark Souls. You gotta let them do their moves real quick, and then you gotta be like, all right, now's my opening. Just You know, you
You
just
and
gotta
fucking
whip it.
Dark Souls.
Dude, it's really good. But it's really what it is. You gotta learn their movesets a little bit, and you're like, this is my opening. Bah, bah, bah. You're like,
you ever
all
watch
right.
the Leprechaun movies?
Yeah, but I was like, I remember just being really bored as a
They're
kid.
kind of corny, but like
I just remember
think
being
those are
bored, and
funny.
it's like, I'd rather just play with my action figures, and it's like,
Oh.
it'd be like a background
Yeah,
type
but
movie.
like playing with your action figures is always the move.
Yeah, but what I'm telling you is that like it never, as a kid, never caught my interest enough to be like,
Mhm.
I'm gonna sit down and watch this and be like, oh yeah. I don't know. I always thought he was lame, personally.
He's a weird one, but I have a soft spot for him.
Like, didn't they make a bunch of those?
Yeah, there's a Leprechaun in Space, Leprechaun in the Hood.
There really
That's
is.
my favorite one. Yeah, Leprechaun in the
okay.
Hood. It's fucking fire, dude. I recommend it. There's a scene at the end where he literally has a
It's
whole.
like an Uzi in his hand.
No, he's rapping at the end.
Oh my god.
I'm not even joking to you. It's like one of the greatest scenes in horror of all time.
All right.
Yeah, dude.
Maybe you're selling me a little bit.
It's so
I'll
good.
just watch Leprechaun in the Hood.
Yeah, but also,
Are you bullshitting me right now? Is that actually what it's called?
I swear to God, there's a movie called Leprechaun in the Hood. I'm
Jesus
not
Christ.
even joking.
What the
And
fuck?
it's him just with a predominantly black cast. It's so fucking funny, dude.
Alright.
I love it. But that's a character
Does
that
it
like
take place in Compton?
I think it's in Chicago.
Oh, okay.
It could be in like maybe, I'm not sure. I don't
Okay.
remember. It's been so long.
That's.
But
I mean,
those
I know
movies
this exists.
Make no fucking sense because like he can blow up someone's insides and then sometimes he can't. It doesn't make any sense.
Oh, so like he has magical powers?
Yeah. He's a
I didn't even
leprechaun.
know that.
He's a
I didn't
leprechaun.
even know that.
He just wants to get his pot of gold. And most of the time, it's like someone finds the gold, that will attract him to it, and he'll just kill his way until he gets his gold. But there's like little things you can do, like someone in one of the movies they like lock him in a dog cage by putting a 4-leaf of clover, and he wasn't able to get out of it. Type shit. Yeah, dude.
Jesus.
It's so ridiculous.
So they kind
but
of play
it's so
into
good.
it a little bit. Okay,
Yeah.
That's
The
not
first one it has Jennifer Aniston, and like her
really?
film debut, but the first one isn't like it didn't know what it was.
bad.
That's another horror character that's sassy as fuck. Those movies you watch, you'd be like, "What is this, dude?" It's just a weird and fun watch, honestly.
Maybe we'll actually check that particular one out.
Boys, yeah, Leprechaun in the Hood. That's the
You're about to
best
say
one.
Boys in the
I was
Hood.
about to say Boys in the Hood because that's
That's also
essentially
a
what they
great
tried to
movie.
do.
It's a great movie, also too.
Fucking yeah, sad as fuck too.
Yeah.
I think that director made Straight Outta Compton. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that makes sense. It was also a good movie.
He directed Ice Cube and his son as Ice Cube.
Wow, impressive.
I know, man. I know, but let's get back to business, okay?
Yeah,
Because
we
we
have a
haven't.
tangent on horror all of a sudden.
Yeah, because we haven't had a good UFC card in a while.
Dude, it's been too long.
The last card with Alex Pereira on it. Alex saved that.
He
fucking
saved
card.
it. Saved it. As he's been doing, by the way.
Yeah.
What? Let's count how many. So he saved UFC 300. It was UFC 302, I believe.
Mhm.
And then this last one, which was UFC 308 or 6. Or was this 6? Nonetheless, he saved at
I'm
least
trying to
3
think.
cards back to back to back.
Well, let's not forget. So he saved the card that Tom Aspinall won the interim heavyweight title, whatever that card was.
Oh, okay.
So him and Tom saved that card because that was the day Stipe and Miocic were originally supposed to fight. I remember. And then 300 kind of gave him time to prep, right?
Yeah.
And then fucking was it? What was the
Well,
one?
I don't know really, because I feel like I remember hearing about it like super late, because it was like, okay, who's gonna headline 300? I feel like I remember that going into it.
Yeah, that's true because
We're
they
like,
did
who's gonna
announce-
do it? And
they
it was
were
like, oh
supposed to
yeah, a
announce it.
month out. By the way, Alex Perez is defending his belt. Or
Yeah,
he's,
yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? It's like, whoa, what the? Okay.
It's so funny because everyone was like, "This card is like mid," and then
Yeah, and then
wound
all of a
up
sudden
being
you throw Alex
so
out, and you're like,
fucking
it's actually
good.
a great card.
It's a yeah.
I mean, it was a great card, but thankfully it was a great card.
Yeah, dude, the whole crazy.
Honestly, since UFC 300, I mean, like the quality of the card has
302 was good with
Yeah.
Destin and Islam. That
yeah,
was
that
a
was
good
good. But I
fucking
mean,
card.
it's like the quality of like the whole card
It's
being
not
good. It's not been
hitting.
good.
Mm-mm.
Not been good at all.
It's crazy, dude. It's like MMA peaked like 2018 to like 2022. I feel like, and then it's just kind of been like.
I'd actually argue peak was 2016 to 2019. I'd argue, dude, because you got to think about GSP was still in there. He came back. Conor McGregor, that was his peak. Like,
True.
dude, there were so many good fights at that
Yeah.
time. Max Holloway was just in his fucking prime. Like, dude, during that
Don't
time
say
period,
that. He's about to fight Ilya. He's still in his prime.
I'm a little worried about that fight. Dude, I've
Hold on.
followed Max.
We'll get into that. We'll get into that. Let's talk about the card.
Yeah.
Like this.
Get a little worried. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, let's talk about like just the card really quickly. Okay,
Yeah.
the shit that happened that we remember, which isn't
Aldo
a
got
lot.
robbed. Aldo got robbed. That's probably the biggest one I feel like I've.
That's a whole other argument we could have about how defensive wrestling should actually be scored in MMA. Like, it's actually crazy to me that it's not, because I feel like if you can stuff a takedown and just
that
the other person
like
can't do,
5 points. Something, you know what I mean?
You should be ahead of the guy that's trying to go for the fucking takedown. It doesn't make any sense.
Because you're defending.
Yeah.
Especially if he never gets it down. If he never gets you down. Like, if you've defended and you're against the cage, you've defended for 5 minutes.
Yep.
Or I mean, not 5. Let's go 2 minutes, right? And you get the breakaway. To me, you should get 5 points from stuffing the takedown, then another 5 for breaking it away. Because he never got to do what he wanted to do.
Yep.
And it should be the same, obviously, if he gets a takedown, that should be 5 points.
Yeah.
Or 10 points, or however you want to do. But I think that I believe Joe is the one that, suggested that, and I agree. I totally agree.
It's crazy how defensive grappling isn't scored at all. At all. And
also, I feel like throwing up submissions isn't scored that much as well.
No.
Like, there's times where, like, someone will end and, like, someone gets, like, a triangle, and you're like, holy shit, this might be, kind of spotty here. And, it can feel like when it gets to the judges, you're like, did they even recognize what was happening at the end there?
Yeah.
It can feel like that sometimes where you're like, maybe he didn't win that round.
Yeah.
I feel like if I remember correctly, that happened with, it was on UFC 300 with Charles. I feel like I remember
wasn't it Arman?
Yeah, and like a lot of the end of the round was like, he's like in a submission, you're like, oh my God. But like they gave all 3 rounds to Arman, which is crazy. To me, I thought it was more like 28-29 type of victory. To me, it could have gone either way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know. I just feel like the judging lately and also the quality of cards has just been like, I don't know. I'm like, bro, I kind of miss being really excited for a fucking fight card.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's,
like
now you know what's funny is the UFC cards are turning into boxing cards to where it's like you really only want to watch the main event.
Yeah.
Or the main event and co-main.
Yeah.
That's not how it should be. It's unfortunate, but like the Alex and Khalil fight was like the fight of the night.
Holy shit, saved it.
It saved the entire fucking night. We were worried for a bit there because our boy got dropped.
Yeah, he got dropped. I mean, dude, Khalil definitely won the first 2 rounds, without a doubt, in my opinion. Now, he did Alex did start to find the jab towards the end of the second, but Khalil had done enough to win that round, obviously.
Yeah.
But then at that point, dude, when Pereira goes in like his mode when he's like, he just starts,
my
dude,
God.
it's like this flow state that you're like, oh my,
It was
like
such
so
a
exciting.
beauty to watch.
It's so exciting to watch,
and
bro.
oh my God, the fucking heart on Khalil, the face, the beating he took.
Yeah.
I think this proves that Khalil definitely belongs in the top 10.
Yeah.
The fact that he's given Alex his toughest fight at light heavyweight, man, it's just, dude, Khalil would have fucked up Jamal Hill if they fought.
Oh yeah.
Dude,
did you see Jamal fucking
yawn?
I was like, bro, shut the fuck up. Like,
everyone said it's so true. He made the weirdest yawning.
Yeah.
Did you see that? Where he was like,
yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay. What you trying to...
Yeah, I was like,
do you see what I mean? Yeah, exactly. And he was like arguing about it on his channel. And he was like, people don't understand what I did. Why I did that. He explains why he did it. And everyone's like, yeah, it's literally the fucking reason we said. We're just being petty.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Petty.
I just don't see... supposedly Jamal versus Yuri is confirmed, and that's a fucking
that's
banger.
A fight. That's a great
banger.
fight. We need fights like that, but to build out the card as well.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Like that should be like an opening of a card, a main card. That should be the opening. And have like a fire main and co-main, and then maybe some good names or prospects in between, and then you open with that. Like that's how cards should be built. I swear this is how they used to do it. Like you'd have a banger opener. You're like, this is what's gonna set the tone,
dude.
Like you set the tone,
and now you're kind of just like, you're willing to skip the first fight. That's just the feeling.
See, that's not what you want to do.
Yeah, no, I agree, 100%.
Yeah. Because like, dude, there used to be times where we're like back, like I said, I swear to God, 2016 to 2019 was my peak. We'd be like, bro, we got to get to Dave and Buster's or fucking Wild Wings early. We got to get a seat because this card's just stacked. Like, we
Yeah.
can't miss like the prelims sometimes. You're like, bro, this is a great fucking card.
Mhm.
And now it's like, oh, the prelims started. I'm like, we can go do this. Let's go get pizza. It's like, you know?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. You're like,
Like, I'm
oh,
not-
this fight's happening. We can go get some. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like-
that's so
But
funny.
you shouldn't want to feel like that. You're like, oh, did we miss out on anything? Oh no, it was a 3-round decision. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's controversy. Who would have known?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, I didn't miss much.
And, dude, and like Kevin Holland getting injured during the card, like that,
Yeah.
the virtually no fight happened there.
Yeah, nothing. But see, that's what I'm saying. It's like for moments like you never. It's a sport. You never know when that's gonna happen. That's why cards should be kind of filled out a
Yeah.
bit more.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, dude, fuck.
Yeah, dude. Boxing. Honestly, what's funny is I think boxing has been a little more exciting in my opinion lately, as opposed to MMA. Don't get me wrong. I think that we're both looking forward to seeing Max versus Ilya. That card looks so good
Looks
and
really
fun.
good, dude. I'm wearing for Max. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I mentioned on a previous pod, like I was like, I kind of became an Ilya Deforia fan. I really have.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I went back, watched all of his fights. I'm like, holy shit, this dude's a fucking beast.
Dude, his performance against Josh Emmett is like a thing of beauty.
Yeah, insane.
It's so good.
It's just that I like Max more.
Yeah.
You know, that's just where it's at.
It's our boy.
Yeah, and I really hope he fucking. I mean, did you watch their interview? That they
Yeah,
had?
that they're
Dude,
having
I'm
a
like,
back and forth.
what the
This is entertaining.
Yeah, the UFC needs to do shit like that,
Yeah.
bro.
Dude, the UFC needs to do shit like he
Bro,
sent me the trailer to Better Be Evan Bivol.
Yeah.
This like that hypes you up so much for a fight. Like that's my
Well, they
biggest.
used to do that. That's what's insane.
Yeah, man.
I mean, maybe not to that level where it's like a mini movie, but like,
Yeah.
you know, put some fucking effort into the damn thing.
It just feels like we could. It feels like we're uploading content for the fight up on the UFC channel.
yeah, like something that I'm
Like
like, bro,
something
could've
I could
done better.
easily do.
Yeah,
I
was
wanna
like, bro, I
watch-
could have done better.
Yeah, I want to watch something and be like and be in awe and be like, whoa, they put out like
Yeah.
lately their fight trailers have not been hitting and they used to.
Yeah,
They
I
were
agree.
just they were insane. I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, I'll still watch a fucking fight any other given day, you know.
Mhm. I agree,
but
but dude,
I miss the stacked cards.
Mhm.
I will say that. That's all I do. Because I mean, lately, like I said, I think boxing's been having better cards, which is insane. That used to never
talk
be the
about
fucking
the Bibble
case.
fight, bro.
Yeah, man. Today on our day was the first light heavyweight champion, undisputed champion has now been crowned. Artur Beterbiev versus Dmitry Bivol. Everyone knows Dmitry Bivol's his biggest career win was against Canelo, right?
Mhm.
Beterbiev is coming off 100% KO ratio. He's had 23 professional fights, has won 23 by knockout. I was actually watching one of his fights. It was against Anthony Yard, if I remember correctly, and he gets cut up bad, and
Mhm.
he is still coming like a fucking tank, and he breaks down his opponent. It's insane. That man's pressure's fucking insane, dude.
Mhm.
He's a Dagestani too.
Oh, okay.
But like, this is what Artur Beterbiev is the reason why I'm kind of glad there aren't a lot of Dagestanis in boxing because holy shit, if they come in like that, bro, I think Artur Beterbiev might have the most insane pressure I've seen.
Really?
Yeah. Like he just
Even
breaks.
better than Prime Triple G?
Yeah.
Wow, that's actually
Dude.
insane.
Beterbiev fought Alexander Usyk in the amateurs. Fun
Mm.
fact. And
Did
at the
not know that.
Olympics.
Wow.
Yeah. So he has a phenomenal amateur background. I think he's fought over like 200 fights. Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, dude.
That's actually insane.
Between him and Bivol, their amateur record together, I want to say is over 400 fights. That's insane.
Wow.
But this fight, I think it lived up to the hype. It was so fucking good. It was like a back and forth. I don't know if I agree with the decision. I can see how Beterbiev would have won. It went to a 12-round unanimous decision. But I saw Dimitri hurt. I had never seen him like that. Like Canelo couldn't do that.
Yeah.
And it's insane. Like I said, Beterbiev's he's that fucking guy, bro. But it sucks there was no rematch clause, so I don't even know what's gonna happen next. We might have to wait for the results of Benavidez versus Morel, because I think the winner of that can face for the undisputed. But like, dude, boxing is on fucking fire right now,
yeah, all of
dude.
a sudden, yeah.
Like Bivol, I'm still a little salty because one of the judges scored at 116 to 112, which for like no one that doesn't really know how scorecards work, it essentially means Better Be have won a majority of that fight when that wasn't fucking true.
Mm.
There are a lot of times, dude, the back and forth in this, one person would throw a right, then another person would throw a right. And it's boxing at its best. High level, elite, IQ. It was insane. A part of me does kind of lean towards like the Bivol got robbed. I don't know, man. I don't know. It was like I said, good fight.
I only saw the highlights, and whatever I saw, it looked very competitive. I actually wanted to watch this fight. You know, like when it comes to boxing, like there's not a lot where I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to get out of my seat to watch this.
Or I have to hype him up.
Yeah.
To be like, dude, this fight's going to be fucking great. Because,
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure you weren't like too familiar with Spence and Crawford at the time. Or like you were to an extent.
Yeah, but at that time I was like, I only knew about Crawford. I didn't know anything about Spence. That's why I was like, you know, I guess he's. Okay. This is the thing. Sometimes when it comes to boxing, you're like, but he's undefeated. Well, so is everyone else. So it's like it like kind of has this Yeah. And also I remember that like there was another good card, like a UFC card was actually good that on that same night, wasn't there?
It was the night of the BMF.
Yeah, and I just remember being like, I want to watch this.
Yeah.
Like that's just where my focus went. And I did watch the highlights for it. Like I was like, oh my God, like this is what's crazy. But like, I don't know, like I don't know. Like I said, sometimes when someone has an O and it's just like whatever. But I was actually excited for this fight. But they're fighting at like 3 p.m.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I'm at work. I don't get off until like 6-5 earliest. You know what I mean? So it's like I wanted to watch it, but now I can't.
Yeah, I'm on a boxing group chat and they were texting. I saw just a text that said, "Fights are starting now," and I was like, "They're supposed to start at 4." And then I just went on. And I was like, "Oh, it's on."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh shit, I need to sit." I dropped everything I was doing. I was like, "I need to sit down and just put my fucking glasses on." And I'm just like, "All right, bro, what's going on?" You know?
Yeah.
It was good, man. It was a good night for boxing. I don't know, like again, I don't know if I agree with like the 116, 112 is crazy because no one was like visibly wobbled. I think.
Yeah.
I there wasn't like no one was doing the chicken dance. But this was a fight where if you watch it in its entirety, you were like, I don't know who to give. Like I personally had it a draw. I feel like that's what it should have been. It would have guaranteed a fucking rematch. But
I mean, I kind of agree with him in terms of like we pretty much score fights very similar. I think there's very few times where we're like, no, I disagree with you. Yeah. So like if he's saying this, I totally kind of like I'm like, okay, I kind of take his word.
You should again when it comes out, I would really want you to watch it so you can.
Yeah, I want to watch it. Like I said, it was just fucking unfortunate that it's happened when I'm at work.
And just Bivol, his defense is so. I love how defensively smart. Oh.
I knew I was gonna cough. That's why I was trying to drink water. Excuse me.
Yeah, man. Bivol is so good defensively, but like there's no wasted movement, but also he's not flashy with his defense, which I can kind of appreciate because sometimes when people are flashy with their defense, it's not as nice, or it's just it feels like someone's trying to do the Floyd, but not very well.
Yeah.
You know, although to credit, there are a lot of fighters that can fight defensively smart and be like showboaty about it. You know, I think Caleb Plant is one of those.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Caleb Plant's probably like the best one.
Yeah.
And also Tank Davis, like I think he's got really good at being showboaty and like putting the money where his mouth is and knocking you the fuck out. Yeah. Like if you misstep at all, good night.
Yeah, exactly. And it's so cool seeing these contrasts of boxing and fighting styles. Like you have Beterbiev, the destroyer, the pressure fighter, and you have the technician Bivol, the master with footwork, right? And these styles blended so beautifully, man. And just, I think Beterbiev would have had a more decisive win in my eyes if he kept up with his certain game plan, because when he was landing body shots and his combinations, he was doing so fucking good. And I actually think he could have stopped Bivol. But at a certain point, you know, when someone does something in a fight where you're like, what? You had a game plan. What the fuck happened, bro? Yeah, you're like, come on now. And just, yeah, dude. And his corner to Beterbiev were like being kind of weird. I think they're like, hey, you're not tired. You're not tired. And it makes me wonder if there was something wrong with him coming into this fight. You know how fighters always say they're never usually 100% when they go
Yeah.
into a fight. So, I don't know. It's unfortunate. I hope we get a rematch. I feel like we deserve a fucking rematch.
Yeah, and hopefully I'll be able to fucking watch it this time.
I know it's gonna be in Saudi, bro. It's gonna be in Saudi. You're gonna be you're either gonna be at work or you're gonna be asleep
Yeah.
or just fucking doing. And you're gonna be like, oh shit.
Well, because I work on Saturday, so I'm definitely gonna be at work unless I like move days around or some bullshit. But yeah.
Well, I think that's about it, man. I think we don't
Yeah,
have
I think
anything
it was
else
a
on the
great
pod.
episode, actually.
All right. If you're new, like and subscribe.
Exactly.
Repost.
Trying to post more consistently.
Yeah. This motherfucker.
No, it's
him.
not always me. You know, sometimes he got injured, then I get injured, and it's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know,
life, bro.
Yeah, all of a sudden life's like, oh, you guys are trying to be six. Boom.
Yeah.
Boom.
Life's doing us the way Art did that poor dude in the shower.
Watch Terrifier. All right.
Yeah.
Peace.